hero of my cake. Independent leader made a way. I'm the people's voice, hip hip parade. Stuck to my pace, the turtle win the race. There's trophies on trophies, views from the townscape. Change is great, break, then I had to skate. God told me time to go elevate. Chosen child, I'm the champ now, not a featherweight. Man, I'm so blessed, I just meditate. Peace of mind, that's what you get when you out the way.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Spot. My name is Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
We got a special guest, Jay from VKJ. And he's joining us as a guest host. And we're here to recap BMF episode 305, Battle of Techwood. And before we get into the recap, everyone please subscribe to our channels, click the notification bell so you can we have a drop for our video, and subscribe to our channel. Let's get into it. So it started out, T is in Atlanta with Meech. They in the strip club. They're doing their thing. And the first thing off the bat, Meech and facilitates a truce between Terry and Loco.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool because Loco couldn't stand Terry.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stacks came over there being fake humble.
Right.
Fake humble. And we know that Stacks is a rat.
Right.
And then they had to stand on business. Remy was there. And they ended up getting into it. So I was like, what did y'all think about that? Ron and I were having a conversation offline because Ron said,
Wait a minute. Let me set me up, okay?
No, we can get into it. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about Ron.
Yeah, look, maybe my eyeballs are slow, but I just didn't see T engage. And look, that was just something I missed. I didn't see the engagement. Of course I saw Meech, I saw all the rest of the crew, but I didn't really see T throw a hook or anything. I just didn't see it. And I was thinking to myself, okay, T, come on now. You in there with your
brother. Me, Jay?
Oh no, T was in it.
Yeah,
T was in it. He was stomping with everybody else.
T stood on business this week.
He threw a right hook, threw the dude down.
He sure did. Didn't he get a little stomping too?
Yeah.
I think I saw.
Look, let me do this. Okay, forgive me. Okay, I have sinned. I just say I may have blinked. I think I was eating. I might have looked down and didn't see his part.
It was moving pretty fast. I give you the benefit of the doubt.
So I was eating, and I kind of watching my burger.
That food was good. It was good, Ron.
Man, a burger put you down, man. So I had to look away just to think.
It's all right. I rewatched it, and I caught it, and I was like, okay, T. As a matter of fact, the first few weeks I was hard on T. He was like on my hands list every week, especially for the Marquisha situation. But this week, T, I kind of was like, okay, T kind of get game ball from me this week because he was making a lot of sense on a lot of things. For instance, he, first of all, he stood on business with the fight. Okay. And then, after the Remy situation, when they got into that squabble, Diesel got killed outside the shootout. And we know what that was. Like they tried to make it look like Remy did it, but it was really like Stacks and the MKs that set that up so that Stacks suggested that they go into Techwood and take Techwood and all of that. And T was like on point this whole episode. Like he was just like, where's Stacks? Like when Stacks was not away, he was like, he just came back in the fold. Now he missing where he's at. Like he didn't trust him. And then like he even was the one that had, was talking sense to them about going into Techwood. Like he made the analogy about the Vietnam War. Like that's why we lost. The home turf. Like, you can't just go in somebody's neighborhood and turn up.
Well, yeah, and I like that. I like the analogy. I mean, because, we didn't know anything about Viet Cong. Ho Chi Minh told us not to go up in there because we didn't know anything about guerrilla warfare. We didn't know anything about jungle warfare. So we walk in there thinking that we're all big and bad, and we got our asses beat because of the fact that they were coming from everywhere, underground, above ground, in the trees. We didn't know anything about that. And what T was saying was absolutely correct. But Meech always has a plan, and his plan was set in motion even before T had scoped it. Now, remember, T went to the range and Stacks was supposed to be there. He wasn't. And, ain't nobody, we know how smart T is. And when he's not complaining, he has an eye for things. And so what we saw in this episode, his eyes were wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So he scoped that. He brought it back to Meech, and Meech always was thinking like he had one move ahead of him. So we all found out that Stacks was just like you say, Snake. We knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, T from the start picked up on Stacks' energy.
Yeah,
because T is like the more rational guy. He'll figure it out real quick. He's from Detroit. He got street smart, so you can tell. You can tell just by looking at. We can look at Stacks and know that he's a shady dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when he did give that lesson, he gave it on a rational level. And at this point, Meech is more of like a visionary. He's more like, you know what? I kind of see it from the way I see it, and this is how it's going to go down, regardless of the whole Viacom lesson. I know what I'm doing. I'm the big brother. Just follow me. He kind of like was pulling rank a little bit. But I mean, I think Meech has been down there so long that he's not just going to walk in. He said when they looked at the map, we just got to find their weakness. Once we find a weakness, we'll just take him down or just go in there and do what we need to do. So, I like how Meech handled it too. And I like how T was just trying to be reasonable and trying to like, yo, we don't need to do this. Let's go back to Detroit.
Right. Right. He was like, you had me thinking y'all down here partying and everything, but you down here in wars.
Right.
And so he was talking to him about that. Like, hey, but the other thing is Meech, where T may have thought that Meech was slipping, apparently he had put TT on Stacks.
Exactly.
So he was doing, his due diligence and checking things out, making sure that Stacks was, above board. And TT came back. I like TT. TT stood on business too. Because when they were wrecking, she had the bottles. She was breaking bottles
off. That's game ball right there.
Yeah. TT gets game ball too. Because TT stood on business in the fight. TT got the info, brought it back, let them know that Stacks is a rat. Matter of fact, TT told them, she peeked them out when they went to Jack the Rapper. It was like, oh, that's a Miami killer.
Yeah.
So she's been coming up clutch too.
Oh yeah. She's been giving out the information, been putting Meech up on game with everything. And that's what she said she was going to do. When we met her in that season, when Monique was there, when she was up in Detroit or whatever, she's like, yeah, she's going down to, Atlanta and all this and that. She's like, listen, just come on down and I'll show you around. So now we in this season and she's actually telling him everything that he needs to know. So I love that about her.
She's family. She's family, and she's going to school for like, she said she's going to take up pre-law, like, cousin Monique and stuff. So she's going to be an asset.
Oh yeah.
To them, provided that hopefully nothing happens to her, because
I'm
worried for a lot of people in this season. I can see a lot of people checking out of here.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, put your crystal ball aside so I can just see it coming. Because see, every show you always talking about something being foreshadowing and it happens. So lay your crystal ball down.
Yes.
You want to be surprised?
I want to be surprised.
Yes, I don't listen. The power of the pen. I'm a writer too.
Okay.
So when I saw Kobe say in another episode about she wasn't scared to die. For me, that was foreshadowing, like Ron was saying. When Rip said, get my music in the street, if something happened to me, I was like, oh, this is foreshadowing. I was like, something gonna happen to Rip. And we see it was several tragedies this episode, and we won't go into the obvious one just yet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say the obvious one. I was going to say the obvious one with Amberson, because she was, whenever this is how we know. And Ron, you already know. We pick up on this. When they start giving a little bit more, too much personal information that we didn't know about before, that's how something about to happen to him.
No,
yeah,
exactly. And then the way they were coming together, like Kobe and Jen, they were when they started really opening up, like she said to her when she told her about the father and what happened with him, that how he's calling and trying to get her to participate in his campaign. And then that made Jen feel like she needed to open up. And so that's when she opened up and told her. Then they doing karaoke like sisters and stuff. And I was like, oh boy, this is the devil.
That almost took me out.
Well,
that almost took me
that
out.
was, but the thing that what I knew that something was going to happen is when Brian showed up at the door. Because
he knew that
when he showed up, I'm like, oh hell,
yeah,
okay.
because I was like, let's go there. Let's go there with Brian.
Definitely.
Let's go there with Brian. Because first off, he got picked up from the Bang with Henry's crew. And at least, Brian, his little cop instincts and street instincts kicked in. He was peeping game. It reminded me of when did y'all ever see Equalizer 2 with Denzel? Like when the guy was in the back and he was preparing to kill and Denzel driving the lift. And that's what it reminded me of, because Brian was peeping game. Like, okay, I'm seeing them looking back and forth and everything. He unbuttoned his seatbelt and everything and got the little cigarette lighter ready and stuff. And I was like, yeah. So his instincts were on point. And so he put up valiant fight. He got out the car, got low on him. He got low on him.
And he still had a cigarette in his mouth throughout the whole thing. I was like, you're a real G right there.
Look,
G. Yeah, he's a real G.
Outside of a moving car and you can still hold your cigarette, my man.
And got low. And so, because of that, we knew there was going to be consequences. And I know we had predicted in some of the episodes before. I just knew, we knew that Kevin wasn't built for that. We knew.
Before we go there, I wanted to say something. The moment that the officer said, okay, Brian, you're out. Remember, if you took a look at Brian's face, because he was a little like, okay, what's going on? Because
he probably was like, who pinched, who got him out?
Yeah, because he's like, I didn't. And then when they said you got a ride outside, that's when he gave that look. He's like, I didn't call nobody. So,
exactly.
What's up?
Exactly.
So
he's still a cop.
Yeah, he was on point from day, from moment on. So
he was peeping. He kept looking and stuff. He knew what time it was.
Yes, indeed.
Because that's the second mess up.
Yep.
The ambulance thing, Twan got killed. Then now he's in the Bang and stuff. So we knew that was gonna be a wrap. We knew that. And so, basically when Henry's crew got back, Henry was mad that Bryant got away, and she challenged old boy to a fight, which was
this woman's mad crazy. When she cut herself. Okay. If I was the dude, I was like, okay, look here, let bygones be bygones, because if you crazy enough to slice yourself up, but the mistake he made, he saw her cut herself and put the knife down. And what did he do in the fight? He pushed her.
He lost control.
Yeah, he lost control. He wasn't thinking. But, and it's sad because they were throwing some punches now. It was a pretty good fight until she decided to use that knife.
Because he backed her into the corner.
Well,
and he only lost control. His ego. When the guys started laughing at him, that's when he lost control.
I mean, look. She goes by the name of Henry. And she got a mean right hook and a cross.
But she's still a girl. That's going to be embarrassing for a guy to be my girl.
Listen up. When you got a mean right hook and a cross, and remember, she knows how to use it because she's been in the ring. She knows what she's doing. And she's going to come at you blowing up like that. I don't know what else you can do. You're going to do one or two things. You're going to fight or you're going to run. And chances are, if you're from the street, you're not going to run.
Right. I think most men would be embarrassed to be beat up by a girl. So that's
I think that's
why
I'm gonna let the punches go. If I'm just gonna let you hit me, that's one thing. I can get away. I can stop and say, well, look, like he said, I'm not gonna hit a girl, so you can beat me up all you want. But if you're from the street, I don't think it's gonna go like that.
I was just surprised that she was fighting this guy, because this guy is like a little goon. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what you got to prove? Like, you the boss. You don't really need to fight this guy. Like, why are you doing this? Exactly. You just want to punch him around. Like, you don't really have anything to prove when you're a boss. Like most bosses, as we know, male in other movies, it's like, okay, what? You didn't get them, pow, done, right?
Exactly.
But she wanted to prove something. And it seemed like she keeps trying to prove. It's like, you don't have to prove anything anymore. You're the boss of everything. Everybody's looking at you.
But why?
She's a girl. She's a girl, a woman in a man's business. She's been trying to prove stuff to her dad. So
Yeah.
I think she's constantly trying to prove herself. Because you heard what she said. She was like, T, T embarrassed me or whatever,
Yeah, I
when
heard
he
that, yeah.
ambushed my. And so I think she feels like she has to prove herself to these men. And you see, she didn't go at her cousin. Her
Well, that's
cousin
the
just
point.
stood out the way.
Right. She didn't go to him. She didn't go at him. And so, my thought was they both were, you know, they both messed up. I mean,
But that's her blood.
and look here, which one was driving? The one she beat up, right? Was he was
No, the one that's driving is her cousin.
Oh, cousin.
The one that
Okay.
was in the back, she beat up.
That's
The
right.
one that was in the back.
Right. Now, her cousin messed up really at, day one. I mean, you could see in his eyes and his mannerisms that something was up. And that's what Brian picked up. Hey, can I have can I smoke? Oh, sure. It was that look he gave Brian. Everything was quiet. He looks over at Brian and gives this little smile. Then he says, Henry wants you or whatever. He messed that up from day one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you're gonna take Brian out, you shouldn't have a guy sitting in the back seat mean mugging. Like, who wouldn't pick up on that?
Staring at the back of his head.
Wait a minute.
Didn't even say hello. Didn't say, yo, what's up, Brian? Nothing. Like, not even trying to play it off.
And then you're gonna bring a knife to this.
Right.
Look, a 45 with a silencer right in the seat, done.
That's it. Right.
Done.
They're the worst goons. They are the worst goons.
Yeah,
and she's not going to do anything to her cousin because she already lost one.
Yeah.
Right? She already lost one. So she's not going to do anything to him.
Right.
She's so frustrated. That's what it is. She's taking so many L's. And she mentioned that last episode. I'm taking so many L's. Like she just want to take her anger out of somebody. But she did cheat at the end when she was jigging him. That was a cheat right there.
She did cheat because he was, she was getting overpowered. He's a guy. And at the end, so she just grabbed the knife and was just like,
yeah. You know what I said?
Yeah.
It is. Another body.
Don't start something if you can't finish it.
And you see how everybody just went right back to work after that. Like the setup was almost like New Jack City anyway,
Yeah, like a little miniature bootleg version. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so as soon as it was over, they went right back to work.
It was like, all right.
Right.
Another day.
Right.
Yeah. And so after that, so I guess she said, after she killed him, she said, well, I gotta do this myself. So she was already on the hunt for Brian after she killed old boy because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. And then Brian went to go see Kevin. And then, oh my gosh, that scene was so heartbreaking to me. I was like, I was trying not to get emotional during that scene because I was just like, the mama in me was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so they go see him and he's all
and the father in me too, because fathers, well, those of us who are very close to your boys, that's the last place you want to see them, number one. And then number two, when you see that they're being beat up, they're I of all the things he said when he told Brian that they raped him, right there, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, and he didn't even say it. He just was like, I couldn't fight back. They went 2 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, and the look on Brian's face. Brian was like, and that's a helpless feeling, for your child to be in trouble and for you not to be able to do anything. So I felt for Brian in that moment too, because he was like, I need you to hang on. And when he put his head down, I knew I was like, he ain't gonna be able to hang on. I said, because he just was like, I don't know what I did. And I was like, oh, he's so innocent. I was just like, he doesn't know what's happening to him or why. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't know why the people that were originally protecting him, they're now hurting him. Mm-hmm. And so I had said this, a couple episodes ago that because he wasn't built this way, I thought that he was going to either get killed or he was going to unalive himself. And that's what he did. And he, and he left Brian a note and said, I love you. You're always my hero, but I'm just not like you.
Like you.
I'm not like you and stuff. So that's heartbreaking. But before it got to that point, he tried to once he saw Kevin like that, that's when he went to Jen's house. He went to Jen's house first, and he went to go get help. But Henry and the crew pulled up and sprayed the joint.
Yep.
And Kobe, that's when Kobe got, as you said, she took a few, and I don't think it looked real bad. I don't think Kobe made it.
Two in the chest and 2 in the lower upper abdomen.
Yeah.
I don't see how she comes out of that.
No, and the way she was gasping for air, I was like, oh my, I was like, oh goodness, this is going to be a wrap.
It was heartbreaking for me because I saw Kevin as like the little brother, the little brother that, Kevin, Brian didn't put Kevin onto anything. He was so innocent, so green, didn't have enough time, didn't even take the time. He didn't take the time. So we know from last season, he didn't take the time to really groom him for the streets.
Right.
Because he was so focused on Meech and T.
Yeah.
So when that happened, it was just a downhill spiral. It just was going to go all the way downhill. And when he took himself out, that took me out.
And see, as a father, you realize your mistakes. You realize what you didn't do and what you should have done. And had, because that is going to live with you the rest of your life. Had I done this, maybe he would have been more prepared. Maybe had I spent more time with him, he might have, he might not have been in the situation he was in. And that is something that will live and haunt Brian to the point of death. I don't see Brian coming. Now, let me get my crystal ball out for a minute. Because, the way I saw that and the way I felt, if it were me, I would have gone mad. Right then and there, I would have been a mad dog. And I would have probably gotten killed because I would bum rush Henry like nobody's business, okay?
Right.
Somebody's going to die.
Oh, yeah.
I might not get her, but her crew, like I said,
Well, the crystal ball. The 2 things I was thinking. I was thinking that since Jen liked Kevin too, and now Kobe's been killed by Henry's crew.
Yeah, I see.
There's an ally. There's somebody that's probably just gonna help him be on Henry like white on rice.
Yeah.
Because now her partners got killed. Now when she finds out that Kevin's got killed, so I think that she's gonna help him. One of the things I said to my son when I was watching the episode, I was like, would he double back to T and say, because remember T offered and he was like, I'd rather run the F over. But I was like, Henry is an enemy of T too now. Yeah. So I'm like, this could be an opportunity. Like that, he can go, he can go back to being at odds.
And I'm gonna tell you, I would. I mean, that would be, look, humble pie, however much I gotta eat, I would eat enough of it. I'm telling you, because there's just no way I see a man like Brian allowing the death of his son like that, knowing that, Henry's gotta go by any.
She gotta go.
Hey,
she gotta go.
She gotta go. By any means necessary.
Yeah. I think he's gonna do it himself, but he'll probably try to use Jen and T, just like I said. But he's gonna be the one to take out Henry, like himself. He's gonna want to pull it,
I think so too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so, but I think he's gonna have help. I think this is when the enemy of mine, the friend of my enemy, or it's my friend, or whatever. Like,
is my friend, and that's exactly how it's gonna play out.
Yeah,
but I want to know. I want to know, when are we going to see Braxton Hardenberg again? When is he coming back? Like, my thinking is like, if this is happening, why are you not going to Blaze? That's what they call him now. Blaze.
Right.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe next episode, because I was going to say, after his son get killed, like he, from what I read about Blaze, he was a former cop. That's how he and Brian know each other. So I would think that he would go and say, you put me on to your daughter, and your daughter
made a deal with you.
She made a deal with you. She pulled my son's protection. Now my son is dead. So I feel like that conversation is coming. Henry is already at odds with her father.
But what do you
Because
think?
remember, he kept saying, "This is my brand."
But what do you think? What do you think Blaze would want to do? You know, it's still his daughter, so
Right.
it's
Yeah,
not.
but it's his name too. He's,
Well, yeah, I mean, but she's not the type to go sit down. So we realized if Blaze said something to the effect, "Hey, you're out of the game," that's not going to happen. I mean, because
Or
she's wilding
or
out too much.
or he might just give Brian permission
You think
to
so?
allow whatever to happen.
he might give her give Brian the okay.
Like what she did, what she took the. I didn't tell her to do that.
I didn't tell
But
her to do that.
In fact,
whatever
he
you
told
need to
her.
do, you do.
In fact, he told her to settle down in a sense. I mean, not
Mhm.
those words, but he did tell her, you know, you kind of wilding out. You need to slow it down.
Yep.
So that would be interesting. It reminds me of a movie I saw, and I can't. I don't want to spend time racking my brain trying to remember, but it was just like that. The guy, you know, went to the father of the son, and he wanted permission, and in so many words, the father gave it to him. So, and that could very well happen. I would
That also
rather see-
happened. It also happened in Force. Remember Force?
Yeah,
When Tommy went to Milkovich.
yeah.
To
That's
find
true.
out who took out, you know, young lady, and then he told him, and they made a deal, and he let him take out the guy.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I said. I can see that happening too.
I'd rather.
I can see that.
I like to see. I like the other plan that we had. Jen
With Jen and T
Jen
and all that. Yeah, we'll see. But I do think that Brian is going to get revenge because, you know, when we saw, was it last season or whatever, when they did the foreshadowing of that he was the one that arrested T, like, you know.
Yeah.
We already know that eventually he's going to end up back on the force and stuff, and he's going to be the one to eventually take down T and them. So he's not going to die at this point or whatever. So I do feel like he is going to get his revenge with Henry and stuff. So yeah, some predictions we had, but that Kevin thing was tough. That was tough to watch. That was tough. I was sad about the Kobe thing. I was sad about Rip. I said we could talk about the Battle of the Techwood, what happened with that, because when they found out the Stacks was double crossing them and trying to lead them into an ambush, they decided to go. Meech and team decided to go and try to meet up with Remy and see if they could flip the script and see if they can work together to get rid of the Glock and crew. And while they went to do that, the MKs, Glock, and them pulled up with Stacks.
Yep.
And it was an all-out bloodbath. You know, everybody got the busing, including T. T stood on business this week. I was telling Ron, I was like, I've been on T's neck this whole season. I've been putting him on the hands list for him and Markeisha and stuff.
Yeah.
But this episode, I'm giving him the game ball for just being on point with
he had to get away. He had to
get
away from all the emotional stuff. He had to go down to the A and handle some business. So
yes, yeah, what's her name was out his ear. She was out the way, so he was able to stand on business. His head was clear.
That's why they call him Tender D, because Markeisha was making him tender. So he had to go down to the A and handle biz.
Yeah. And once he was down there, he was able to peep game. Yeah. We finally saw him handling himself with the gun, because even Duffy said that he was pretty nice at the gun range, and he picked up, not only was he shooting, he picked up like the tech or whatever, and got busy. I was like, look at T.
Got the AK, yep.
Yeah, I was like, okay. And Stacks, like we thought he would, got killed, because when we saw last episode when Glock in his right hand was calling him an imp-sawing idiot, I was like, oh, they gonna, as soon as they get Meech and them, I said they gonna off him. We knew that, and they showing up, they disposed of him.
I didn't think it was going to be Glock though that was going to take out Stacks. I thought it was going to be Meech.
Oh no, I knew.
I thought it was going to be Glock.
Yeah, I knew they was trying to set him up. Go back to the
car episode when Stacks and Glock were in the car, and and Glock's
right hand was like, he's an
right
idiot.
hand called him an idiot. And I'm like, okay, see, right there, when you talk about foreshadowing.
I remember that conversation. Yeah,
that right there said, okay, you are not with Glock. So let's not get this twisted. You are not on Glock's side, okay? Glock is looking for an opportunity, and you gave it to him.
I said he tolerating you for the moment because he said he's an imp. So he was just like, as soon as we get what we want.
I don't know if y'all noticed it though, but we haven't seen Meech take out anybody.
Meech?
No, not yet. But he's been shooting.
Yeah,
he's been shooting.
But we haven't seen him like, you know.
Yeah, he hadn't hit anything. So at least for a reason. Yeah, at least
we know why.
Because you figure a body or two would have fallen just by his hand.
So he need to be at the range too, is what y'all saying.
Well, he may need.
That's an outside reason. It's an outside reason. We know.
But hey, you know what?
Yeah. I think so too.
A 45 against the AK, forget that fight. That's not even a good. That's not even.
Well, I was sad about Rip though. I was like,
poor
Rip. I was like, I wish they had told him.
Neighborhood. I mean,
I was a little bit upset with Meech though, because Meech gave the whole speech like, nah, stick to the music and all of this and that.
Thank you.
When Rip was like, I'm standing up with you and I'm not going to take no for an answer. I mean, Meech should have said, nah, take this one answer. Stay here. Right.
Yeah, I told you, you're out the game. You're doing music. You're not doing this. And I'm like,
what was the whole speech for?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was mad about. I was mad about that too. Well, sad about the little boy too that got killed trying to be down with Remy.
I think with Meech though, they weren't expecting a gunfight. They were expecting to go and have a consult. He really wasn't expecting a gunfight at that point.
I don't know why they wouldn't expect that, because they knew they were coming.
Well, it doesn't make sense to go into your rival's backyard at any point in time, particularly when you know how much bad blood there is between the two of them. And if you're not coming with that force, which he couldn't, but I just to give him a little credit, I don't think he realized at the point that it would jump off at that point.
But he knew the MKs were coming. You have to be ready for everything. They were coming.
Absolutely. When you're in that business, you got to be ready for any moment, any time, because they can pop off like that. But I just don't think that he thought that Remy would be in danger. I mean, that Rip would be in danger at that particular point in time. And I know he would have been. I know he wouldn't allow them to go, during the later night. But hey, it's like you said.
I know what you're saying. You're giving him the benefit of the doubt because it was supposed to be a peaceful talk or whatever the case is, and Meech was positive about it,
right?
And he didn't think that the MKs was going to be there with the military artillery, right? So once they showed up, it was like, every man for yourself, get out the way. So I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
No, I get it too. I would anticipate that because first of all, Stacks drove them through and gave them the lay of the land. And then they found out Stacks was a traitor. So I was like, so with that being said, like, yeah, he walked us, he was trying to ambush us, and he showed us the lay of the land. I didn't like, I would anticipate them rolling up on us. I would have thought that. I would have told Rip to stand down, sit this one out. And we saw a little boy, in Techwood. That was sad too, because he got killed, and then his father was going off on Remy because he said that you were going to protect us. Well, and he lost his child. I felt bad for him as well.
Well, Remy can forget Techwood because that was the ultimate right there. Many innocent people were shot and killed. Like that young lady, she was trying to get away. She gets shot in the back. And the biggest one with Milton getting killed, that right there, man, when that's going to roll through the projects, and I just can't. I don't see Remy coming out of that.
That's why I think he's going to have to. I'm sorry.
I predicted it as well. The same prediction that Meech was going to try to bring, Techwood and BMF together, but now Remy's going to need.
He's going to need Meech. Yep. Exactly.
They still need protection.
They're going to have to come together. They got
the PA boys. Yeah, they got the PA boys.
And as he said, he was like, we can do this and take care of business, and then we still enemies. Like Meech said it. He was like, you still my enemy because what you did at the time. But we gonna get
what was interesting to me though, the PA boys showed up like the cavalry, a little late, and and
but I was like, I was happy to see him.
I was too.
Be for real. Look, anytime when you're in a fight like that, anytime it's on time. But my thought was, how come they didn't roll with him from the very beginning?
Because they were in Detroit.
Were they in
Detroit? They came all the way.
They came all the way down from Detroit.
That was Hoop now.
Yeah,
it was Hoop and Sterl and them. They're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So who? Listen.
But hold up now. The gunfight didn't last. So at some point you had to.
They were already.
They were on the way.
They probably were already on the way. They're probably already on the way. They probably said we're gonna hold them down. They probably knew the day before.
They didn't have iPhones and things like that.
No,
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand.
Listen, Meech still has
TV, man.
T is the lead of Detroit right now. He probably been in contact with Sterl and them and letting them know what's happening. And Sterl and them probably said, like you said, y'all, we gonna go down there and hold you down. I don't know if y'all Game of Thrones fans. I am. And it reminded me of Battle of the Bastards when they came through just as Jon Snow and the crew was getting their butts whooped and the cavalry just came and swarmed on them. That's how I felt when I saw Hoop and them roll up. I was like, no, in the crew. So they helped save the day.
So maybe TT told the PA boys where Meech would be. Somebody had to say to them, look, they're going to.
He did. T is the leader of Detroit right now.
No. Look. At the time that they made the decision to go talk to Remy, T never picked up the phone to call PA or anybody. So my point is, for them to know.
We don't know that.
Well, that's my point.
It was like inferred.
They're not going to show everything.
But when we know a group is from Detroit and the battle's in Atlanta. And we know the time, the era. You got to help me out. Now, a cell phone would have done the trick, but we didn't have cell phones.
They didn't have a cell. They just had the huge garage door opening cell phones.
We didn't have cell phones back in the.
Yes, they did.
We had those bricks. I remember the brick.
He had the brick.
That's what Meech and them had. They had those brick cell phones.
Okay, then pick up the brick then and call somebody because I just wanted.
They did.
All right, I'm not arguing with it.
We didn't.
You wanted to see the scene. You wanted to see the scene with T called.
I get it. Just give me this, and I would have.
But they can't put. It's an hour show. It's a little under hour. They can't put every little detail.
3 seconds. That's all I need.
He called them. T told them what time it was,
3 seconds.
and they came.
This is where we are. Come on through.
T told them. Told them, and they came through.
I ain't mad at
the cavalry.
I ain't mad.
And so. Yeah, but they lost some casualties too. Like you said, Rip.
They was pinned down. They came in just in time because and Rip was pinned down behind that car. Like there was no way out.
Yeah, there was no way out. That's what I said. Battle of the Bastards. That's how Jon Snow and them was.
Yeah.
Because they were losing that battle until Littlefingers and them came through. So that was cool. And sad for Rip. And Battle of the Bastards, we got to go back to Lucille and Charles because Ron said the best for last. Let's go. Charles this week.
Look, okay, Charles is my boy though. I like Charles. Okay, yeah, he made some mistakes. So but look, when he came out with that song, and because he was about to get blown up with that bat. But and I'm thinking, I'm like, come on, whip this song out. So he whipped out that tape, grabbed his piece, and he started singing. And guess where they wound up? And I'm like, now that's my
check a wow. Man, he was singing his life off because if he didn't come out with that tape, oh boy, it was over. She was the Batwoman.
He was hot, and I was mad at Charles about the Mabel stuff, but I felt them this week because I was like, that busybody cousin. That's what I said. You don't get involved with people's marriages.
What's her name?
Estelle.
Yeah. I mean, you saw them grab hands and you just you flew off, and really, you really didn't even tell the story right. They weren't holding hands. They, you know, it was a it's a friendly.
They were, but still, she still gassed it.
They grabbed the hand. Right, she gassed like
she jumped to conclusions. She
really did, and
then she wanted to do that anyway. You know.
Yeah.
If they had done a pinky swear, she'd have said the same thing. You know.
Yeah. She made me mad. She did make me mad with that, because I was like, that's why you gotta keep people out your business with relationships and stuff, especially marriage. And she went over there, and then she made me mad when she came up in the house and was like, "Well, I'll pack his stuff," and I was like, "Whoa, you overstepped."
Slow down, right? Slow down.
How you gonna come up in their house talking about what you gonna do? You know, so I was mad about that. So she on my hands list this week.
I can understand though a little bit. Okay, from a different perspective, I can understand a little bit, because that, I believe, is her cousin.
Family. They are family.
The cousins, right? So I can understand a little bit when you see your cousin's husband, he already messed up, and now he with this other woman in a restaurant eating breakfast, holding hands. I can understand if that was my cousin, I would have been in there too. Like, yo, listen, cuz, like, I saw your husband. Oh,
I would have told my cuz too.
Right.
How about just approach him and say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
That too.
Yeah,
that too.
I mean,
I would have told cuz.
If it was my cousin,
yeah,
I would have stepped over and said, "Hey, what's this? What are you doing?
What's up?" Right. I might have said something too. I might have said something.
Yeah, exactly. And,
I might have said something too.
If it didn't sound right, then I go and run to the house and say, "Okay, this is what's up." But I'm again, you know, I want to know for myself what's going on here.
What's up? Yeah, I think I would have got the scoop too, and I may have still told Lucille, but to come in her house talking about, well, I'm gonna pack his stuff and everything like that, like, nah, you overstepping, because at the end of the day, they may be separated, whatever, but they're still married.
Right. And on top of that, she was like, well, now you can divorce him, so you'll have a clear conscience with the doctor.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And she don't even know what's up with that doctor yet. I mean, we still don't know what's up with the doc. So, you know, while he looks good, sounds good, and, you know, and Lucille's was offered an assistant pastor position at the church, which I think was a mistake, because they were doing that just because of the $10,000 check she brought in. But that doesn't mean she'll be able to do it all the time. So I don't know if she's the assistant pastor type, but, you know,
she said she would think about it.
Yeah, she
got to pray on it too, because she got to think about it as well. Because if you're going to be the assistant pastor, I mean, your household got to be, and you fantasizing about Dr. Feelgood and kissing up on him and stuff. You still a married woman. You can't be assistant pastor with that.
Well, you got a messy home. You can't have a messy home and try to like be a shepherd to the church.
Your house got to be in order before you lead a congregation.
Well, it should be, but you know, we know some stories. So.
Right.
We know the truth, right? We know the truth. So, but you can't be rubbing on cards either, and then going down and that part.
Let's get into that. Let's
go. Let's go there.
Women gotta understand something, and I'm not making excuses by any means. So please don't write me or write me up with this. But you know, in most instances, when a man cheats, it's physical. But when a woman cheats, it's emotional. And it's harder to come back from that. And so when she took the car, when boy got back in the bed for another round, and she was just about to go down on herself and kind of, do some things with the card, and then she sees Charles coming back, and she slips it under the pillow. So now, who are you making love to? Are you making love to me, or are you making love to the
doctor?
Well, she had some needs. She had needs, and he did get her with that song.
He gave her some needs. Now he gave her a need pill, and he came back and gave her another one. So, but I'm saying, what was on her mind at that particular?
Oh yeah, she was looking at the card.
Yeah, she's about to do a little more with that card than just.
I said it on one of my lives. Like, she was physically there with Charles, but emotionally and mentally, she was with the doc, fantasizing.
Oh, exactly. Well, you can see in the previous episodes, like when Charles is walking around with no shirt on and he's pumping iron. I mean, Like I said, he has a beautiful physique. So she's and you know, this still her husband. So she has needs. So, you know, I wasn't surprised that happened, but I still think that she's gonna like Charles is probably gonna think that since this happened, this means that they're reconnecting and stuff. And I think she's gonna still tell him, like, no, I'm still moving forward with the divorce. Like this happened.
Right. And in fact, that's what she said. You're still in the past and I want to move forward. You know, don't let this trip you up in a sense.
Right.
You know, and that's probably what she's going to tell him. And see that right there, you know, my point is, look, if you're emotionally strong to somebody else, go. Because that's not something that I can generally fix. If you're over there instead of here, I'd rather you be over there. You know, you know, and it's not to say that she didn't deserve to you know, to have pleasure and to get what she wants. I'm not saying that. She's all well and good for that, but you know, let both of you can't be wrong. You know, somebody got to do the right thing. So you wanted the divorce, you want the divorce, get the divorce, and then move forward, move on. But you know, right now you're stringing.
Right.
Well, I
Ron,
think
she
she's
said
still
that.
torn.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Now I was saying that she said that in the last episode to the dot. Maybe one door is closing so a new door can open up. Well, you have to close that door and then open up that new door. But she's being messy right now. That's what's going on.
She's being human right now. She's being horny right now. That's what they live under.
I love it when you all come together. No matter how wrong you are, no matter how wrong you can be, you all find a way to humanize. Because you turn us down. Come on,
still her husband. She had needs. Wait a minute.
We all got needs.
Now I'm about to throw the ghost card. Now I'm about to throw the ghost card.
Let's go.
I'm about to throw the ghost card because me and Ron always go. Now, when Tasha and Ghost had a moment in season 3, they were broken up, but they had a moment where they reconnected sexually. Afterwards, she was like, does this mean we getting back together? And he looked at her like she had 2 heads. It was a moment. It was a level of comfort for them. They were still married.
No, you missed my point. You missed my point. I'm not talking about the moment. I'm talking about what you said when you were saying how you were coming up with reasons as into why it was okay for Lucille to be where she is physically with Charles. And I'm simply saying is whether you're a man or a woman, because sometimes when men go out and cheat, it's because of what they're not getting at home. But they're still looked upon as a dog when they do go out and they're caught and they're discovered and all hell breaks loose. And then the woman goes to court. She says, well, I'm leaving him because he cheated. And he stands to lose everything. Regardless of the fact that, or I should say, regardless of the fact that his lifestyle at home wasn't meeting his needs. Now, of course, I'm not saying that's all the time. I'm not even saying it's 50% of the time. I don't know.
But she was working 2 jobs.
But my point is,
she was tired.
My point is with Lucille is you were the clear head. You are the one that holds the family together. You have every right to leave Charles. So leave him. Get that divorce, go, and then do your thing. But don't.
But you're saying she's wrong because they had
sung that song. She got hot over the song, and they went upstairs.
She was already hot. She was doing like this last episode.
I say she was wrong. I say she was wrong with kissing up on the doctor. Again, being messy. She should have cleaned it up.
Married.
That's another weak moment. So that's the part that is messed up because she's still married and she's literally cheating on Charles.
Exactly.
Okay? He did his thing, and we know that, but now she's doing the same thing.
Cheating is cheating. I mean,
cheating is cheating.
So, I mean, so now
2 wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
Even though we're gonna say this about Charles. If Mabel didn't break it off with Charles would have still been there. It was Mabel who broke off the affair.
Well, she knew she was going to get some pots and pans upside her head eventually.
Right.
So she was smart.
Whereas, as wrong as Lucille was, when she got mixed with Dr. Feelgood last week or whatever, she had a slight hunch. She stopped it and was like, we got to stop this. And she left. She stopped herself.
Because it was
Charles
about to
didn't
go
stop
too
himself.
far.
Okay.
It was about to go too far.
Charles went back.
Okay.
Charles kept going back.
But you know what? In the eyes of cheating,
Oh, she didn't cheat.
you might as well
They
have
both
gone
married.
all the way.
They both married, right?
That's my point. So if you were going to go to that level, you may as well gone all the way, because cheating is cheating. So
well, they had their moment, and I think she's gonna end up still telling Charles that she wants to do it.
I think what now, of course, this is logic versus emotion, and we know those two don't mix. But logically speaking, now that she's had her moment with another man, maybe it's time to reflect and say, okay, can I forgive my husband? And can we get past all this? That's a question that needs to be had.
Oh, I bet she's going to think about that.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I think that that's the question that has.
You're looking at the card, like, you know.
That card put her on fire. So I'm not sure. I think that.
I hope she doesn't just like go get messy after this whole Charles thing and be like, you know what, I can't hold myself back. Let me go to the doctor and just bust it open for him too. I'm just saying, like, I hope she doesn't go there. You know what I'm saying? She's supposed to be a godly woman. So I hope that
stop it.
Out.
See,
that's what I'm saying.
This woman, was Charles a godly man?
They both supposed to be godly. No. I'm not saying that.
He's not saying
that. What I'm saying is I'm hoping that the godly side of her stops her from going and being more messy than she really has been. That's all I'm saying.
I hope so too. I hope she just, if she's done with Charles, she needs to be done with him.
Cut it
and
off.
Before she moves on to Dr.
Right. And I have to say, most times men are just knuckleheads when it comes to cheating, and that's why they get caught all the damn time. But you know, but emotional cheating that a woman will find herself doing, because most women won't do it until there's something that's driving her there, and it can't be the physical. It's usually not the physical. It's that emotional thing that they want and they need. Because once you got that, your relationship with your husband, your boyfriend, it's already gone.
And he was the one that got away. When you think about it, all the memories and stuff.
Exactly.
You know, she apparently she had a connection with this man before, and she chose Charles. And she probably thinking, I chose Charles, and look at the life I'm leading now. And then he cheated on me and stuff like that. So she's in that what could have been stage.
I would love to see the backstory to that. I would love to see them a flashback of them in high school and what exactly happened. Was it that Maurice, or Reese was interested in her, and then he told Charles, and then Charles kind of swooped in knowing that he was interested? I would love to see that backstory.
Yeah, I would like, and I like to see it from Lucille's perspective. Why did you choose Charles over Reese?
Right.
You know, what was that? What was that thing that Charles gave you that you didn't see in Maurice at the time?
I think we saw it. I think we saw it.
What, the musician?
Yeah,
the way he sang to her. And
you saw her face, and she was like, "Oh my God," and crying. Exactly. So he swept off. So I think that's what it was.
And she believed in his dreams and stuff. I think he swept her off her feet and stuff. And
I think Maurice was a bookworm. Right, because he's a doctor, so he was probably more into the studies.
You know, that happens in high school. You know, y'all forget the bookworms. You know, I don't want.
Listen,
now he's doctor successful, right? Now they want
I remember my mom telling me about when she had gone back to her high school reunion and stuff like years ago, and she was saying about this one brother that was there. She was like, you know, saying he was like a nerd, this, that, and the other when they were younger. She was like, he was so fun at the reunion. And not only that, he was a lawyer now and all of that. And I was like, see, I said, y'all slept on that brother.
Money and success makes you fine now. Get older.
That's right.
But I think there's only one more scene that we did not talk about. It's a small scene, the dance scene with Angel and Meech. She did a little
Oh yeah.
She did a little private dance for Meech. We interviewed Katie Ann White, who plays Angel and stuff, and she's a dancer in real life.
Mm-hmm.
In
I
addition
can
to
tell.
being an actress. Yeah, you can tell she's
Yeah.
a dancer for real. So that was that was cute what she did. I'm nervous for her too, because I feel like Greenie is gonna make another appearance.
Oh.
I think he might do something to her.
That was kind of bold too, to open up the club late at night, just to give him that dance, you know, because as you said, Green, he's not out of the picture yet. So I thought that was a kind of bold move. That song though that was playing, it sounded like Pebbles, but I couldn't figure.
No, it sound. You know what it sounded
Yeah.
like, and maybe they didn't get clearance for the real song. It sounded like Tracy Spencer's "Tender Kisses."
It was.
Okay.
But
The first
it
part when it's
wasn't.
like,
The
I'm
words
so
they changed the
Yeah.
words and
Yes.
everything. I was like, maybe they get clearance. Because
peeped it out. I peeped
it
it
was
out
a
too.
different song. It sounded like it, but not quite.
The first few words was "I'm so," and then they changed the rest of
And
it.
then they changed it.
Changed it.
So I
Instead of
was
saying
like,
confused, they said
Yeah.
something else.
I couldn't
yeah.
pick it
So
up.
I was like,
I couldn't pick
it
up
sounded
who
like
actually was actually singing that song. And I kind of wanted to know, but because it was nice,
Yeah.
I still like it. But yeah, I mean, the scene was cool, and you know, it is what it
Yeah.
is.
I appreciated it.
Of course you did. Of course you
Believe
did.
me, I did too.
Listen to y'all. Listen to y'all. I'm sure y'all did. But anyway, I think we've touched on everything. Is there anything else you guys think we didn't discuss? Or
No, I think you got everything.
Yeah, we got everything.
think we did.
I do want to touch real quick on the end when T actually was walking out and he looked back and he was saying that he kind of wanted his brother to help him out with that project up in Detroit, but knowing that he's committed to Atlanta, you know, that's a heartfelt thing, to walk out and understand that I now have to shoulder this on my own. And so that's a growing up moment. I think we're going to find in T that he's come to that realization that it's going to be him.
Yeah, it's gonna be. And pretty much what Meek said to him was like, this is my family now in Atlanta. Like, I'm not going back to Detroit, because he was like, look, let's go back to Detroit. But no, this is my home. So I feel like this is going to be the beginning of the end of their partnership, because we saw how it started off in episode 1. It started off, they hadn't talked in 2 years. So like I said in the other episode, Markeisha is going to be all up in T's ear, making him feel like the man and stuff, and they're going to be making certain decisions, and it's going to be issues between the two.
Oh yeah.
I think that now that he has to stand on his own 2 feet, or as Meech has said to him a couple times, 10 toes down. Markeisha, she's going to be put in a place. She has to be, because it's no longer, I can't go to Meech. It's on me. It's on my shoulders. So listen, woman, get out of my ear. This is your place. If you can't be in it, be gone.
Right. Well, we'll see. Because I don't see him standing up to Markeisha. I think he's whipped at this point. So I think she's gonna be she's gonna play a major role in the dissolution of his relationship with Meech.
Hope springs eternal. Just remember that.
So what do you think, Jay?
Well, again, I go back to that the first episode when there was older T, older Meech, and when Brian came in there to arrest him, he was on the phone with Markeisha. He had a picture of Markeisha and them on the mirror before they got and pinched him. So she is definitely going to lock him down. He going to be, big bad Southwest T, the legend, right? But still, she's still going to have him.
Yeah.
Right.
LaWanda going to just be the baby mama. Markeisha is going to lock him down.
Okay. Yes. But she still has a place, and he better find it. He better find that place for him. So
yeah. Well, she didn't got her hooks into T. Like what Nikki called her a Jezebel.
Sure did.
Yeah, so Yeah, she got her hooks into T. And so that's gonna be that. I guess we should ask about the game ball and the hands list before we get up out of here.
Well,
So
I think we said TT gets the game ball. So Stacks, Stacks, he got the hand, and his is final now. So
yeah,
you know,
yeah, he definitely gets the hands. I told you I felt like T got game ball this week for me because he stood on business and he was, on point with his assessments of stuff, like with Stacks, home turf, all of that. So yeah.
I'll
What
say
about you, Jay?
Meech gets the game ball because, again, this whole episode he was re-emphasizing the family, not leaving the family. And also we saw the vision board, right? So once he saw the boxer, he saw the car. That's one thing we forgot. The car and him open up the back seats and it's bulletproof. That's going to be the beginning of him moving some stuff with the car, that type of car, right? And so he saw the vision of what it could become just on a larger scale. Definitely. But at the same time, making sure everybody, just like he said when he was laying everything out, he's like, I want everybody to have be like new money. I want everybody to be straight. I want everybody to have money, all the family. So I give him the game ball.
Yeah.
You're right about that. When I saw how dude's car was and how he had all those secret compartments, I thought the same thing. I said, okay, this is how they gonna move stuff. Yeah. I did think that. I was like, ooh, they're teaching him something. Oh, yeah. And Meech, he is a visionary, mapping out his little vision board and stuff. I was just like, okay, Meech. So I understand why you picked him as your the game.
And the hands, as y'all say, the hands goes to Henrietta. Okay, she got to go. It's time for her to go. I've been done with her. I've been done with her for since the first season. The first episode. I'm done.
I agree. There's nothing about her I can feel good about, nothing.
No, but I gotta say this, that the actress that plays Ren Henry Ren King, real cool.
Oh, definitely.
Real cool. Down to earth, everything and stuff. She is doing her thing as Henry, so shout out to her.
Definitely. Absolutely. Look. I'm only talking about your character.
Right. That's all we talk about.
Wait, no, they them. Those are the pronouns that she uses. They them. So. So anyway, I think that's it. We had a good discussion. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, Jay, for joining us this week.
Thank you for having me. Always appreciate you.
Yeah,
it's always fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. And so, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us on all our social media channels: IG, Facebook, X, TikTok. Check out our playlist of all our interviews. As I mentioned, we just had an interview with Katie Ann White and Bashir Sylvan that plays Angel and Glock, and the rest of the BMF cast. So check out our playlist, subscribe, click the notification bell, tell a friend, and just push us out far and wide. And we can look forward to seeing y'all next week when we recap episode 306 of BMF.
Tell your friends on TikTok, tell your friends on Facebook, tell your friends on X. We got something going over here. So, light them up. Let them know that the Spot Real Talk is the Spot Real Talk. It's the place to be.
That's right. Tell Pookie and them, tell Baby and Boo Boo, tell everybody, the whole world. Spot Real Talk is in the building. Subscribe. You know you like the vibe. Let's go.
And check out this brother. Check out check out his his information.
AKJ.
Yeah, and social's gonna be at the bottom of the description. So check him out because he's the real deal.
Appreciate y'all. Love.
Definitely.
All right. Well, good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, man. Good night.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my clock, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100.